stronger than before, power up for more. So, if you know the lyrics of Power Rangers ZEO, you know that it is the true sequel of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers all together. And that is one of the main reasons why I am reacting to this video, because I love Power Rangers ZEO. I think it definitely changed Power Rangers for future upcoming seasons of new cast, new Rangers, and new storylines, while being somewhat canon to the original series altogether. So, shout out to this content creator. Let's get to it.
A television series, nay, a franchise on the brink, faltering after 3.5 seasons, a feature film, and billions of dollars in sales of licensed merchandise. Was it possible to correct the course of their historic, once-in-a-lifetime success? A bridge to the future of the franchise erased by the feature film that followed it? Could it be restored by a fan-driven hoax? Hi, I'm Dan Larson, and this is the history of Power Rangers ZEO.
One of my all-time favorite seasons, besides Turbo.
Power Rangers ZEO is a live-action television series that ran 50 episodes over one season from April to November of 1996. It is a continuation of the 3.5 previous seasons of Power Rangers, and yet a starting point for a whole new approach to the franchise.
Indeed.
The Power Rangers are a team of 5, sometimes 6 superheroes with teenage attitudes. Their powers were given to them by Zordon, who recruited them to protect Earth from the forces of the evil Rita Repulsa and Lord Zed. After countless defeats, Rita and Zed have accomplished what was previously thought to be impossible: the destruction of the Power Rangers Command Center, the Ranger powers, and all of their Ranger stuff. On top of that, they stole the ZEO Crystal, the only thing capable of restoring the Rangers' powers. Just before the Command Center imploded, Alpha 5 saved the powerless Rangers by teleporting them outside. As they survey the damage and mourn the apparent loss of Zordon and Alpha 5, ZEO Crystal wasn't...
Man, look, the Alien Rangers saga was completely one of those shows that really took me out of Power Rangers, because I still hated it as a kid, but as an adult, I still despise it. Because why on God's name would you name them Alien Rangers when they're in Kaku Ranger suits? The suits represent ninjas. I mean, if you want to call them Alien Rangers, why not just create an original concept? Create original American exclusive suits to be called Alien Rangers, instead of putting them in Kaku Ranger suits. Like, what the hell? That's one of the main reasons why I stopped watching Mighty Morphin, because the Alien Rangers just completely ruined it for me. But in my honest opinion, Mighty Morphin didn't really end until 95, just for the Mighty Morphin cast alone. But when the Alien Rangers saga happened, that's where it completely destroyed my interest in Power Rangers. I hate their voices. I hate the characters. I hate everything about the Alien Rangers. They are by far the worst. And the fact that they need water to stay hydrated while on Earth, like, that's the weirdest concept. But aliens are also ninjas. That doesn't make any sense at all. You could have at least called them Mighty Morphin Ninja Rangers, while having their ancestors, based on their animal spirits, to be Ninja Rangers. They could have easily helped out the Mighty Morphin Rangers and turned them back to normal. Billy could have stayed as Mighty Morphin Ranger using his Ninjady powers or his dinosaur powers. I mean, why do you think that he was in Cosmic Fury, where he literally stayed as Mighty Morphin Blue, where he could have stayed as Mighty Morphin Blue in the Alien Ranger saga? He could have easily helped out the Alien Rangers in battle. Well, oh my God. The writing of the Alien Ranger series was so bad, I'm just lost for words.
Stolen after all. In fact, nearly everything that was thought to be lost just a few moments ago is restored. Alpha 5 and Zordon are alive in the sub-basement of the repaired command center, and the Rangers graduate to their new powers and new suits, which they will need to take on the evil machine empire. Led by King Mondo and Queen Machina, they're an empire of robots so evil that even Rita and Lord Zed are vacating the galaxy so they don't suffer the consequences. They take the incredible step of leaving Earth to move in with Rita's father, Master Vile. The Power Rangers, as you have known them, are gone forever. In their place has emerged a new and more advanced fighting force. They have now become the Power Rangers ZEO, the next level in the fight of licensed merchandise. They took the world by storm in 1993, but by 1995 it was beginning to falter. This is how we got there. Real quick.
You gotta love Jew Ranger. But this is way back in 92.
Power Rangers began as a Japanese children's television series created by Toei called Kyoryu Sentai Zyuranger. It aired in Japan from 1992 to 1993 as the 16th version of the Super Sentai series. Super Sentai are the multicolored martial arts superheroes fighting against evil in battles that typically culminate in a giant robot versus a
I like how he didn't go all the way back to Gold Ranger. And like that was the original team that started the Sentai in the first place.
New theme, new characters, new costumes, new robots, and new villains nearly every year since 1975 and continues to do so today almost 50 years later.
Yeah.
Super Sentai was imported to the US when Saban recognized that an American version could be produced quickly and profitably by reusing the in-costume fight scenes reshooting the out-of-costume scenes with American actors. Even better, the toys and associated merchandise were already manufactured, only requiring new packaging to be sold outside of Japan. 1992's Zyuranger in Japan became 1993's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in the US. The first episode aired in August, and by Christmas, the Power Rangers were already on a path to historic children's television ratings and billions in merchandise sales. But the amount of usable footage from Zyuranger was limited, exhausted after about 40 episodes, so Saban Entertainment invested in new episodes for Power Rangers with monsters and fight scenes that never occurred in the Japanese Zyuranger series to get through the final 20 episodes of Season 1.
And early Season 2.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers diverged from Super Sentai by refusing to fully reboot. In the US, the Zyuranger costumes were already iconic. It could have been brand suicide to move away from what was already making so...
You know what, that's what people are still talking about today. Like, why didn't the Power Ranger suits weren't used in Season 2, where Tommy's suit was the only one that was used in Season 2 to match the Sentai stock footage? Well, the rest of the Rangers could have had power-ups when they could have just kept the Zyuranger helmets but upgraded them into, like, the Thunderzords helmet to represent their Thunderzords. That would have easily worked for the most part, right?
Much money! But Saban couldn't avoid the inevitable. They could only delay it. Season 2 began the awkward transition to the next Japanese series footage, 1993's Ghost.
I mean, Dawn Ranger is a good season, though. I ain't gonna lie. The story, the fight scenes is just
but the Die Ranger scenes,
perfect.
Monsters and robots. Through the end of Season 3 in November of 1995, Saban Entertainment managed to perform an astounding degree of television editing magic that utilized footage, costumes, characters, monsters, weapons, and robots from 3 different
some of the best storylines of Season 3. Just with the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger cast alone. But the Alien Rangers completely ruined it for me.
The original cast was gone. It was time to start over. Sort of. After 3 seasons, Saban needed a bridge to the rebirth of the franchise. Sure, Power Rangers was still the #1 children's television show in the 5-day-a-week category, but it was no longer the highest-rated kids program on television overall. Goosebumps took the lead.
You know, zombies. Ghouls.
Yeah.
The undead.
As ratings declined, merchandise sales declined with it, down roughly 35% from 1994 through 1995. Saban sought a return to what made Power Rangers work from the beginning as a highly profitable financial vehicle, being able to import existing footage and related merchandise from Japan and repackage it for the US. That meant moving away from the Zyuranger suits and embracing the annual Super Sentai tradition of a new team every year. Some plot elements could carry through the continuing franchise, but new teens would need to be introduced to the cast to keep things fresh and exciting for the new kids entering the audience. After considering such extreme scenarios as killing off some or all of the major characters, they decided instead to make superficial changes. The final episode of Season 3 planted the seeds for the final push away from the Zyuranger legacy. A cliffhanger left the Rangers as depowered, de-aged child versions of themselves.
Oh, God.
The newly introduced ZEO crystal, a source of immense power, shattered into 5 pieces and hidden throughout time and space. In February of 1996, a 10-episode bridge season called Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers temporarily replaced the human Rangers with aliens from the planet Aquitar. It used footage from the 18th Super Sentai series, Ninja Sentai Kaku Ranger, that aired in Japan from February of 1994 to February of 1995, which Power Rangers had already been pulling from.
Kaku Ranger is better.
3. Alien Rangers continue to set up the narrative
hands down.
needed to kick off the
I'll take Kaku Ranger over this garbage.
It acted as a soft course correction to fully embrace the Super Sentai series as an annual source of new production material. By the end of Alien Rangers, the Power Rangers were back to their late teen/adult selves. Aisha was swapped out for Tanya as the third Yellow Ranger. Tommy is left as the last original Ranger actively rangering. The ZEO crystal was reassembled, installed as a new power source in the Power Rangers Command Center, then stolen as the Command Center, and everything about the Power Rangers of the first 3 seasons is destroyed. Saban let the past die. They killed it because they had to.
The power is gone, and the
I remember this commercial so much.
What a miss. It's been totally wiped off the map.
How can the Rangers defend the Earth? Starting this week, you'll get a peek at the shapes of things to come.
So if they made a movie out of ZEO, I would have watched this movie in a heartbeat. But unfortunately, they made one of the worst movies about Turbo, which could have been used in ZEO, because if y'all remember back when Nakia Burrese was talking about how there was an exclusive scene of her and Adam in their ZEO costume fighting Divatox's henchmen when they lost their powers or whatever, though. But that could have been used in that movie as well. But as far as like ZEO being a good Power Ranger season, that could have just been made into a movie. I would have loved to see the Rangers go from Mighty Morphin, having the Command Center explode, and then they could just go on their ZEO quest on a journey to find the new ZEO powers. That would have been the best thing that they could have done. But nah, I guess the TV show was a bit of a good one, I guess.
Has never been so precious. Watch Power Rangers this week for a taste of what's to come. Each day, another exciting sneak peek. Be among the first to glimpse into the future on Power Rangers.
Saban's
So
Power Rangers
iconic.
ZEO began airing in April of 1996. It borrowed footage, costumes, characters, monsters, weapons, and robots from the 1995 Japanese Super Sentai series Choriki Sentai O Ranger, themed around ancient civilizations and mythology with costume elements inspired by geometric shapes and numbers. The Rangers' belt-mounted morphers were replaced by a pair of wrist-mounted Zeonizers. In theory, that meant that morphin time was over. Heck, it wasn't even used.
They still
in the
use this
series
morphin time in ZEO.
But you gotta use a trademark if you want to keep it. So the Rangers continued to announce their morphin intentions just before carrying through with Zeonization. Power Rangers ZEO kicked off a new era of Power Rangers with several carryover cast members and a few new additions. Original cast members included Robert Manahan as the voice of Zordon, Richard Wood as the voice of Alpha 5, Paul Schreier and Jason Navi were back as Bulk and Skull, respectively. The only original Rangers left in the cast were Jason David Frank as Tommy, a Red Ranger for the
Rest
first
in
time,
peace, JDF.
David Yost as Billy Cranston, although no longer a Ranger himself. Second-generation Rangers Johnny Young Bosch, Steve Cardenas, and Catherine Sutherland returned as Adam, Rocky, and Catherine. Nakia Burrese joined the cast as Tanya, technically the 4th Yellow Ranger after Trini, Aisha, and the Space Fish Guy. Brief appearances were made by Ed Neal as the voice of Lord Zed and Barbara Goodson as the voice of Rita Repulsa. David Stenstrom played King Mondo, and Alex Borstein was Queen Machina. Should have put a break in there. There was a lot of names.
That's a lot of names, so bitch, you did it though. You got through it.
But we made it. We did it. We got through it. We got through it. That's the hardest part of every script. Saban's Gambit worked well at first. New costumes, new powers, new villains, new robots, and new toys sustained the top.
Bro, who remembers the Gold Ranger story arc? Like, the Gold Ranger was definitely one of the reasons why Power Rangers ZEO's ratings got up. I mean, to his opinions, it didn't really help the show get any better, because due to Beetleborgs beating Power Rangers ZEO, it's not only crazy, but it's insane. Don't get me wrong, I love Beetleborgs, but Power Rangers could have stayed in its own lane. Thanks to Saban being, Saban wanted to have his own new creations beat all Power Rangers, unfortunately, but still, Jason coming back as a Gold Ranger was a standalone choice for Power Rangers, though. Even before that, Trio Trefoya, Brad Hawkins, who voiced the Gold Ranger, definitely changed the game for 6 Rangers.
Ratings and sales that Power Rangers was used to. But as the season wore on, the ratings attrition began. Not even the return of original Red Ranger Austin St. John as Jason the Gold Ranger was enough to put the Rangers back on the top of the ratings. Perhaps an oversaturated market full
Yeah,
of
that's what I was
alternatives to
talking
Power
about.
Rangers was to blame. Saban's own Big Bad Beetleborgs was newer and offered a more unique take on the live-action kids superhero show. Perhaps kids who had initially fallen in love with the Power Rangers in 1993 had already outgrown the fandom and moved on to other things. Or maybe it was a look at the future of the franchise, initial boost out of the gate as kids tuned in for the new season that tapered off as the new became the norm. Power Rangers ZEO only lasted one season of 50 episodes, but that was, after all, the plan. The last episode aired in November of 1996 to be followed by Turbo, a Power Rangers movie, which could have been the bridge between ZEO and Turbo the way Alien Rangers was between Morphin and ZEO, but it wasn't. We'll come back to that. Power Rangers ZEO...
Look, I know there's a lot of you that love Turbo, but I don't. The movie, the first half of Turbo was garbage. That's where I'm beginning to have a love and hate relationship with Power Rangers because of its bad direction it was heading towards because of Saban. The Turbo film made no sense. The ZEO powers were never destroyed, so they were just randomly given the Turbo powers for no apparent reason whatsoever. So that's why we ended up getting what we're getting. Because the Turbo film it was just terrible. So at the end of the day, Turbo sucked, the movie sucked. ZEO was hands down better because it was in its own lane, it was in its unique storyline, and it had a unique charm to it. So basically, ZEO was ZEO was its own thing. It found its unique charm, it found its way, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. At the end of the day, I still think Turbo sucked.
Continued the march of merch through retail. Bandai America imported and rebranded action
Look at the
figures in a
toys, though.
variety of scales. Role-play weapons,
The toys were
pajamas,
something
watches,
different.
School supplies, tiny robots, combining robots, giant robots, Pure Midas, one of the biggest Zords ever.
Ugliest
and
Zords ever.
ZEO fanny packs. Image Comics had the rights to Power Rangers, and in August of 1996...
Oh yeah, I remember
publishing
this.
Power
Link
Rangers
Card
ZEO.
did a video on that as well,
Issues
but
being planned. Only one was ever released. Fans would have to wait decades for the suits to make an appearance in Boom Studios' Power Rangers comics in the late 20-teens. Some episodes of Power Rangers ZEO found their way to VHS in 1996. The entire season was released on DVD for the first time in 2012. As of this video, it is available on various streaming services like Apple TV, Amazon Prime Video, and Pluto TV, or here on YouTube at the Power Rangers official channel. When Turbo, a Power Rangers movie, was released in March of 1997, it contained almost no reference to ZEO other than returning cast members.
yeah, it was canon to the TV show, but
made no effort to maintain storylines from...
Look, the Turbo movie was canon to the TV show, but like I said, it still sucked. I'm sorry.
ZEO. There is no machine empire, and it seems as if there never was. In the years that followed, fans online speculated as to whether or not Saban had ever intended to produce a series like Alien Rangers to smooth out the transition between Power Rangers ZEO in 1996 and Turbo, a Power Rangers movie in 1997. Some fans went a step further and created their own. Sort of. In March of 1998, several months after the end of Power Rangers Turbo, the 5th season of the television series, someone named Derek Smith made a post in a Power Rangers news group asking if anyone had a copy of the Power Rangers ZEO shorts that he claimed he himself had seen. As he understood it, there was an 8-minute short film broken up into 2-minute segments that aired exclusively on Australian television ahead of the release of Turbo, a Power Rangers movie. Titled Scorpion Rain, it was purported to feature ZEO Red and ZEO Pink fighting
Scorpion
against
Rain?
Lord Zed, and helped explain how Zed's giant Zord Serpentero was destroyed. The most memorable part of the 2-minute shorts, as Smith described them, was that the visual effects were done with toys on strings, and that the dialogue was all badly dubbed Australian substitutes because the actual actors weren't part of the project. Smith claimed to be so interested in the tapes he knew existed that he put out a bounty for anyone willing to cough them up, 20 to 30 American dollars, which, after adjusting for inflation, would be the equivalent of $38 to $58.
A flush with cash.
In the nascent days of the internet, it was harder to prove the veracity of something that seemed too innocuous to be fake. Why would someone create such a silly hoax? There was no Wikipedia, no social media, and for the most part, no real access to the people who created shows like Power Rangers, didn't spend their time online trying to make sure accurate information was being shared. Several years, fueled by Ranger fans' hope that any story even remotely official had been created to fill in the gap in time between ZEO and Turbo, a Power Rangers movie. Smith and his friends fabricated summaries of the plot, description of scenes. They even produced a video matching the description of one of the episodes they themselves fabricated. In the video, Amit Baumick voices ZEO Red during the fight with Zed's Serpentera, proclaiming, quote, "Man, that is one ugly Zord." Things broke down in 2001 when a thorough debunking of the entire Scorpion Reign hoax was posted. The poster took great offense at what they saw as Smith's intent to create a rift between US and Australian Power Rangers fans. They poked enough holes in the campaign to prompt a confession from the creators. Smith, Baumick, and the rest of the Scorpion Reign coalition admitted they fabricated the entire thing, that they never intended nor expected that it would go on for as long as it did, and let the community get back to normal Power Rangers fandom business. For exactly 1 year. In 2002, Baumick was a story editor.
Yes, the best team up ever.
And furthermore, wrote the episode Forever Red. That episode is a 10th anniversary celebration of the franchise that sees all of the previous Red Rangers join forces on the moon to fight against the Machine Empire from Power Rangers ZEO as they attempt to restore Serpentera to functionality. Serpentera with...
Here's a little fun fact about Forever Red. Jason was supposed to sacrifice his life to destroy Serpentera. Originally, that was part of the script. But unfortunately, that got scrapped because Cole was the only one that used the Savage Cycles or whatever you call that thing. He rolled through the Serpentera and destroyed it completely. So, but at the same time, Forever Red was still one of the best team-ups in Wild Force. That and reinforcements from the future, in my opinion. So, honestly, I think the fact that they gave Tommy that line specifically for that episode alone speaks volumes.
Which, by the way, had never been depicted as being destroyed or crashed in actual Power Rangers continuity. That only occurred in Scorpion Reign, which Baumick admitted he considered canon when he wrote Forever Red, and went so far as to have Tommy speak the line, "Wow, that is one ugly Zord," as proof. But is it canon?
No.
This is a tough one. I want to say no, but he makes a very good case for it being canon. I mean, he was the guy who wrote the actual episode, and if he says it's canon, then who am I to say it's not? That said, I have to say no, it's not canon, because Scorpion Reign doesn't actually exist. We just went over this. Since Power Rangers ZEO aired, there have been 24 more Power Rangers seasons, including 17 in a row, that followed the original Mighty Morph formula. Direct localizations of the most recent Super Sentai series the following year as the next Power Rangers season. In 2018, Hasbro purchased the franchise from Saban Entertainment. After 5 seasons over 3 different series, Hasbro put the franchise on pause. As of this video, there's been no new television series produced since the end of Power Rangers Cosmic Fury in September of 2023. Just a few weeks ago, in April of 2024, Hasbro announced a new global licensing agreement with rival Playmates to produce new Power Rangers toys beginning in 2025. With no other details, we'll have to wait and see if they will focus on the original Mighty Morphin costumes and robots, or if the world will once again be saved by ZEO. Thanks for watching.
And man, shout out to this content creator. Like I said, ZEO definitely changed the game for Power Rangers for future cast members, future seasons, in their own original rights. So I think one of the main reasons why Hasbro sold the toy licenses to Playmates, just so they can create more Power Rangers toys, and Hasbro could just continue on having rights to the entertainment stuff. Playmates can be responsible for the toy lines and stuff like that. But getting back on topic, I think ZEO for the most part really changed the game for Power Rangers because of the Gold Ranger storyline. The ZEO powers were way stronger. They were never destroyed in the first place. And the fact that in the finale, when the Rangers grew tall for the first time, fighting King Mondo on them, Tommy and Trey Foya taking King Mondo's head off, which never been done on the kids show, but it worked completely. And the fight scenes for ZEO got really good too, especially for certain Adams focus episodes, which again, I do prefer Adam and ZEO because that's where he really got the shine throughout the whole season. Him and Cat for the most part. But at the end of the day, Power Rangers ZEO is so much better than the Alien Rangers and Turbo. The first half of Turbo, in my opinion. So, let's do the original video and I'm out.